And we're kind of starting where we left off here from the last episode. We are fishing for rough at Belaya. Mostly that's because we've just started a stream here. So just kind of hanging out with chat, getting into it. And it's almost evening anyway. So we're here at Belaya. And we're going to catch some rough. No cafe order, unfortunately, this time. So, you know, not that we can't make a little bit of silver. We certainly can, but... And there's some nice size rough. But a little less incentivized. So at the end of the last episode, I did go ahead and upgrade. As at the end of the episode, I showed it. But I have since picked up our upgraded Lacertes and put them back on our rods. So we now have 5.5. There is a bleak order, which I don't know how active they are. But if we want to take a break from spin fishing in the middle of the day, we could just go float fish for bleak, see if we can find them. I actually kind of would maybe enjoy that. And I'll show you the setups here in a second, but I think even though I'm enjoying the amount of, I guess, focus that we've had on spin fishing here lately, I do think that, man, that's expensive. So that's 73. I do think that just in good conscience, we need to kind of rotate back to fishing. I mean, to leveling up bait harvesting, basically preparing to do a little bream fishing. So what I'd like to do, I don't know about this chapter, but very soon, is just start putting some resources into leveling up first our bait harvesting to garlic dough, and then our ground bait to bream ground bait level. So we may do some of that today. It just kind of depends on where we end up. With the silver that we've saved up to this point, I mean, we may be able to get there, at least on bait harvesting. It's never as expensive as I think it's going to be. We've been doing a good job digging, and I think that there are a few things that I would like to make. Like, if we don't have very much, we probably want to, you know, grind through some oatmeal and sweet dough just so that we have some to use. But then mostly what we'll do is go back to using pearl barley until we unlock semolina. And then we'll do semolina till we have a good bit. I like semolina as a bait. And then maybe go back to pearl barley, which is the cheapest, again, until we have garlic dough. So it sounds like a lot, but really it's not that bad. I'm kind of looking at this guide. I'll try to post this link on YouTube as well, and I'm going to post it here in Twitch for those who are with me on chat. But Blunty has put this together, and one of the tabs at the bottom shows kind of what you want to do: 0 to 20% wet bread, 20 to 30 pearl barley. Oh, and I guess 30 to 35, which we're close to, we'll want to do semolina. And then we've got garlic dough. So, kind of want to do that sooner rather than later. Let me get this back here. And let me check in on chat. I feel like I haven't read chat in ages. All right. Bleak at south end of North Island. Yeah, so kind of over there, typical spot. Thanks, Bleak Attack. You got a 3 kilo common carp. Well, that would be perfect because I think there's a cafe order for a 3 kilo common. So let's just hope that happens. CRLJO. Greetings. Hope you're doing well. So for ground bait, is that a power leveling guide or a guide that is useful, has useful ground baits in it? Yeah, I end up doing the combination of both, to be honest, Lindy. I mean, if you want to go power leveling, then this shows you on ground bait exactly what to use to make it as cheap and quick as possible. But if you've watched any of these episodes or my previous guides, I tend to make a lot of ground bait to use. I just like using ground bait a lot. But I will hit this point where it's like, okay, I want to get to bream mix. So what do I need to buy to get to bream ground bait as quickly as possible? Hey, what's up, Bub Tub? Greetings and welcome to you as well. I'm assuming all of the Bleak records are going to be at Winding, right? Or there's one at Seversky. That's cool. I'm not sure if we've checked flies here. The stock here at Belaya is so small that I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they'll be sold out here as well. Yeah, they are. Big time. Even horseflies are sold out here. But between bloodworms, pearl barley, you can usually catch a few. Is that right? 4456 at Old Berg is so good for bleak with fly? That is good to know. I wasn't aware of that. I tried to catch bleak at Old Berg a while ago and I couldn't get there. Now we don't have fly because they're out of stock everywhere, but usually if they're biting on fly, you can catch them on horsefly or bloodworm or pearl barley or something. What else was I going to look at though? There's a red worm. So I kind of want to get that line. I said I was going to show what the setups are looking like with these upgraded. But if we're going somewhere else to get ingredients for leveling our bait harvesting, we might as well not spend the silver on line here. They probably will have better stock somewhere else anyway. Although I do get nervous, like at Winding and Mosquito, that 5 kilo cheap mono line with the like big spool, it's all often sold out. I don't know for sure that it is right now. But so the upgraded Lacerti goes up to 5.5 now. So to take full advantage of these 5.4 liters and the 6 kilo load capacity on our Kama Comforts, I'd love to get line that's at least 5, maybe even over 5. I'm just not sure there's a cheap way to do that at this level. I think that would involve either smaller spools of line or pretty expensive line. Hey, Thunder Chicken. Man, you made me nervous. If I had been muted this whole time, Thunder Chicken, like starting up this, what will eventually be on YouTube as a chapter of our leveling series, I would have been really sad. Okay, this is not a rough. Oh, it's a roach. So you sometimes get frog at that spot as well? Yeah, that's not uncommon, right? At a bleak spot to occasionally get frog. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is the least expensive way to get more than 100 meters on your spool, if your spool can handle it, is to go up to these Siberia, Indiana. So, you know, we could go to 7.5 and still save some silver. We just have to have that leader on. If we forget and take the leader off, the line breaks our rod in certain circumstances. If we put 5, we're not going to get the full 5.4, which is not too big of a deal for bream fishing, and that's primarily what we're using it for. But it would be nice to just like have that little extra power available. So we could go to the small 100 meters, and this gets us 5.2. Or I think there's also an option where, is it this? The power line? Well, it's 6.5. It's not that much better. Maybe heavy line. I thought there was something that comes in 6.2. Yeah, not really. So if it's that close, I think we probably just do it. We just go with the cheaper option, 37.84 silver. It's a lot less expensive. We never get that 0.4 power because of the leader size, but, you know, I'm okay with that. Wait, what's the 5.6 cheap line? By the way, that would be so cool if we could get some more of those white bream. I think there is a white bream order, but I just haven't seen a ton in this spot. Pure Pariah, welcome back. How are you? Wait, what do you mean Thunder Chicken? I think Amber's been really good the last few weeks. I mean, I haven't played much this past week because of work, but when I was streaming every day, I thought Amber was pretty terrific. 5.6 line. Am I just missing that? Where's the 5.6? Oh, it's the cheap stuff. And it does give you 120 meters. That's not a bad idea. Good point, Blood. So you get 120 meters. It's 0.28 diameter. How much more would we even get on a Lacerti? .28. All right, so we look at the lot. We look at the reel and we think 0.28. Not much more. That's perfect. Actually, that's perfect. Thank you for the suggestion. We'll just use that. We'll just use that good old cheap line. Brilliant idea. Yeah, no, it gives you that little extra power if you've got the upgraded Lacerti or if you have the old school Lacertis. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, that's weird, Thunder Chicken. I may, once we switch off leveling and go to main account, I may go to Amber. I don't know. I haven't even looked around to see kind of what's hot today, but I knew we would probably start with this, and who knows, we may come back and end with this as well, but I do want to do some on the main account today for sure. Calve to strawberry, that's interesting. Clean, cool, huh? So is everyone excited about Call of the Wild the Angler? Is that pretty much on everybody's radar? I would imagine some people probably have a wait and see attitude towards it, which I wouldn't blame you. Pure Pariah says sure. Bottom fishing and float were active on Tunguska this morning. Oh, that's cool. Yesterday I tried for eel at Old Berg. Got one. Let's see. Got one. That was a bust. Went to bear. 2 blacks, maybe 3 grass, small markers. Went to bed. Yeah. Some days are like that, aren't they? We have caught a bunch of rough here. So if we do that with the cheaper line, I mean, that's got to be super cheap, right? Yeah, holy cow. I mean, that is a game changer to be that cheap. All right, so do we ever get... I kind of want to get a 19. I sort of want to try something here. This 19 hook on with the red worms. Actually, I don't know why I would use the nice new line yet. We certainly do not need it right now. So if we end up testing for bleak, we'll do it on that. Been asking around, not many people are buying it off the get-go. Interesting. I'll be surprised if it doesn't sell really well right from the start, just because of the built-in audience from Hunter Call the Wild. Those folks are going to want to try it. Angler looks intriguing. Hope they have missions. Yeah, I think they will. Sounds like they're doing a very similar structure to Hunter Call the Wild in terms of unlocking the open world, talking to the warden who will give you tasks. Some of them fishing related, but perhaps not all of them. What game are you going to be playing at the same time, BubTub? Besides this one, potentially? I don't know. I don't know if you play RF4 a lot. Alright, I guess in the morning we will try a little bit of spin fishing. Just see if we can get a couple, I mean, even just a couple decent grayling or brown trout are kind of worth it. New season of Path of Exile, that makes sense. That is coming soon, right? Right around that same time. Alright, so supposedly I have access now to post on the RF4 official forum a link to our chapter 1 of this leveling guide, in case there's people on the RF4 forum that don't know about it. So let me see if I can find that link. And is this chapter 1? Yeah, this is chapter 1. And let me go to the official RF4 guides. New leveling series on my Twitch, YouTube channel. Here is a link to the first chapter on YouTube. Thank you. Okay. Nice. It did work. Permission is apparently been granted. Has anybody ever seen, or not, shouldn't say ever, but like in the last, I don't know, 5 days, has anybody ever seen a link to that, to my YouTube channel or that first episode pop up in chat in game? Surely if it had happened, somebody here would have seen it, right? You guys have played more RF4 this week than I have, I bet. I was told it was going to happen, but then I never heard from anyone that it happened, so I'm wondering if it ever really did. Not in game that you can recall. Maybe it just never happened. Marketing guy told me that he was going to do it, but he could have just forgotten, or who knows. So the Ladoga Crucian Gibble spot. Fishing for 1 hour, 10 fish, and all Gibble trophies. Oh, that sounds so fun. Is that info out there on like VK or Discord or something? When we get to my main account, if we get bored at Amber or something, we could do something fun like that. Alright, it's 5 in the morning. Let's keep line 2 and 3 in here. Let's go ahead and get line 1 out of there. Oh, you got it off YouTube? Okay, gotcha. Do we want to do bleak first? No, let's try spin fishing first. Isn't it the 73.52 spot that's been working the best recently? I mean, none of them have been great in my opinion, but seemed like this was a little bit better. Muy Gui. Or somewhere around there. It's going well. How are you doing? Slightly lower temps today than during the last section of our leveling chapter, or chapter of our leveling guide. Oh, is that for Ladoga, Crick? Okay. 4370. I guess I should make note of that somewhere in case we want to do it later. What did somebody have? No. Somebody said nice fish. I can't figure out what it was. Alright, let me close my door. It's loud downstairs. From boat station to the right, I use caramel 1420 and large one hooks with honey dip. Okay. That's not a rough. Alright, we're getting into perch now. Maybe we just pull these out. How did we do, by the way, on our night of rough? Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's throw this back in one more time. 19 hook, red worm. Sometimes that's like the magic trick for big rough. Let's see how we did, though. I'm just curious. If you take away the chub, 66 silver. I mean, that's not bad. It's not quite bream money, right? But if you're just chilling at Belaya waiting for the next day to fish, like, it's hard to complain, and it requires basically no gear. You finally got your Z70 baitcaster new rod. You've been loving it. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Congrats. Where have you, what have you been trolling, or where have you been fishing with it? Any cool stories? There's another chub. All we're getting is chub right now. Are we turning into a hornet spot? It is overcast. Hey, Choke, welcome back. It's going pretty good. Do a little bit of spin fishing in the morning, and then we're going to go check that bleak spot out once it's like a little later in the day and the quality of fish here has declined a little bit. Sura, jigging, and some trolling. 24 cat. Nice. Very cool. I'm glad you're having fun with it. That sounds really cool. It's a little chub, isn't it? No, it's a little eyed. Sometimes if I cast slightly left in this position, I'll hit a little brown trout, but That was a little odd. There's a little brown trout. See, just to the left, you get little brownies, but straight ahead, I feel like you occasionally get brown, but more likely you're going to get grayling, which is also kind of nice, but this early, you might see a decent brown trout or two come in. Does anybody use actual like pauses in your retrieval at Belaya with these spinner bait, with these little spinners like hornets and spikers and stuff? I was trying that in the last, like I would just do straight retrieve and then every once in a while I would pause. You do, Lindy? Kind of how long are you pausing? I noticed just little short pauses. I noticed I got a couple of bites on the pauses in my last episode. Oh, interesting. So that's completely different. You reel in with 50 speed and every reel, so every rotation, you pause like 3 beats. All right, let me try to replicate that and see what happens. First of all, let me put the spiker on. Ultimately, I think the spiker's slightly better bite rate. Let me just see. Fake jig step, yeah. So you're going 1 rotation. And then just like 3 beats. So hard to go 1 rotation with, especially with a spinning reel. And I could probably with a spinning reel also go down to like 40 speed and still get a very similar effect. I don't think I've ever done this, especially without, I mean, I'm not shift reeling or anything. I'm just doing regular 50 speed, doing a fake jig step with it. So you're really not running it across the top, right? You really are jig stepping it. That's interesting. You see it like rising and falling. Oh, fish got it at the end there. It's a pike though. See, we're doing something weird with it. We brought the pike out. All right, let's try that with 40. I might do 2 rotations as well. Just try to get, oh yeah. Now that's not surprising, right? On that fall. I mean, so many times, even with the spinner baits, the fish will hit it on the fall, hit it on the drop. Little brownie. We do 2 rotations. Already. I'm curious, Lindy, if you're using a bait casting setup. Because I'm sort of seeing better results now that I've slowed it down to 40. Which, based on the gear ratio and everything, could make sense. Wow. Yeah, you might be onto something. You might be onto something, Lindy. The spinner will never touch the bottom, so you can pause for longer. It's a nice little chub there. Kind of like this. It's got a rhythm to it. You can change how long you pause, kind of like you said. Not messing with speed up as much. I mean, every once in a while I probably want to go back to just straight retrieval with some speed up because I've certainly caught some really nice fish that way. But just to mix it up a little bit, I like this. I really wonder how the programming is working on this. Does the retrieval attract it and then they come and pop it on the drop? Alright, let's try regular with a little speed up built in. This is a little faster than I would normally do, but not as fast as we have been. Alright, there's a little speed up. I'm not going to pause at all this time though. Ooh, Grat's on level 33, Brezza. I could even see doing like 2.5 rotations. According to how long you wanted to pause. I just don't know. Like sometimes to me it seems like for the grayling specifically, and there's a little grayling. For the grayling specifically, let's try this new Vibra spinner. It's the only one that's in stock here, unfortunately. Wish I could try some of the other models, but we'll look next time we go somewhere else, see what's in stock there. But for the grayling, sometimes I feel like if I slow down the retrieval, I'll hit the grayling better. Have you tried pausing longer when you first cast? I mean, not recently. Is that what you do? Just really let it like go with the current for a minute when you first cast it? I mean, I've definitely done that before. I feel like I found myself doing that a lot at Yama back in the day when that first came out. So it makes sense that it might work here as well. Yeah, cast more upstream and then let it. I hear you. Let's go check on this poor redworm we've had in the water for, I don't know, 3 hours. This was our like one chance to try to hit that trophy rough. Of course it came in perch. Okay, let's try letting it wait a little longer on that first cast. I still want to get some distance to it, but I'll go upstream a little bit more. Close the bail, then just let it sit, huh? I assume you want to check with R key, make sure you don't have a fish on. Alright, looks like it kind of stopped moving there. Alright, this would be a good time for us to go check out, just see if bleak are biting. See if we have any chance of hitting that cafe order. I guess we should go check the cafe order. I never noticed the time. And we can throw our feeders in down there as well. We've already got the small hooks and worms and stuff ready to go. Right there at the end, something hit it on the drop. That's pretty cool. Nice little grayling. I like it. Let's see here. I think we want to use that one and then the float. Yo, what's up, Rise? Let's see on the time on this. Oh yeah, plenty of time on that. It's too bad we didn't get a 1 kilo eyed, huh? Trophy bream. Unlikely. Sort of some weird orders down here, isn't there? Alright, let's see here. South side of that North Island. We're stuck in the foliage. So here, I think maybe I'm used to doing it here. I don't know. Let's try here first. What size hooks we got? 22? Perfect. And this one's probably 20 still. That's fine. We'll see if there's roach or anything else down here. Oh, nice, Rise. You're on your way. You're on your way. You know what? I'm honestly used to pearl barley working here better, perhaps, than bloodworm at Belaya specifically. Let's just see what happens here. Y'all remember what the size were on the bleak? I didn't notice. Might have been 44. Wrangler, I think you changed your color. Who did that emote? That's cool. It's yours. It's the Wrangler nibble. So we have an M-Dog nibble and a Wrangler nibble. Something is online too, for sure. The feeder's got a fish. Rise did it? Rise is so cool. Alright, I don't have a nibble. Especially with the rain, barley is better? Okay. Do you think I'm in the right spot, is the question. Hey! Big ol' rough, speaking of the rain. Alright, let's get it out there. Let's try to get it out there. Alright, so we're up here. Maybe we should go a little further south. See if they're a little more active right at the tip of this island. You cast more left. Okay. Oh, crap. I looked away for a second. Yo, blood. Don't be mean. I don't know how many times I've said this during this leveling series, and we should have done it a long time ago. I mean, who knew how often I was going to go for bleak and stuff? We should have just purchased the longer telestick. Even if it was this starter one, the blue one like this, just the longer version. Just have a little bit more casting freedom. It's a gibble. Is that right? Telesticking on Corey. So what were you telesticking for on Corey? I mean, I think I know what you mean. I'm assuming what you mean is that when you're telesticking on Corey, you can actually see the fish approaching the bait, right? Just makes it so much more fun to see that, the immersion. But was there something in particular that was just like a blast to fish for there? Ooh, how am I missing that? Come on now. Wait, how do you print silver with a telestick at Corey? What are your secrets? Because we are not that far away, to be honest. Vindus, lake trout, common minnow. What? Okay. There must be some fun tricks at Corey since they made new Corey that I don't know about. That does sound awesome. And you must have bought a little bit stronger telestick if you were pulling those fish in. Ooh, nice one. Oh, so it's a crucian. Maybe that's why I'm not catching them. Are they not active right now? Are they just not active right now? I'm going to put bloodworm. I think bloodworm might be more likely to only catch bleak. I guess I could have put horsefly on. Just to see, like, are we getting bites at all? That is so fascinating, Lindy. If we get there on this... Alright, so there was a bite right there. If we get there on this leveling series, then I may ask you to point me in the right direction. I'm trying to think of what baits. I mean, were you just using worm catching all those different species, or is it different baits for different ones? Oh, your clip was off on the third. That's frustrating. Alright, there's a slow bite. I don't think that's a bleak. I don't know that the bleak are active right now. Maybe we try a little farther down. You caught bleak here at feeder on 3 a.m. That's fascinating. Alright, that might be a bleak. Yeah. Alright, so it looks like just a little farther down. Maybe we should try pearl barley down this way. We had an immediate bite there. This is 24 hook, right? Yeah. When these spots up here are active, though, like, this is, other than the pond at Winding, this is one of my favorite places to catch bait fish size bleak. Typically very reliable. There we go. Now we're on to some bleak. Can we get them a little bigger, though? Caddisfly. Oh, that's awesome. That's so fascinating. Were you just like off the dock? Look at this, guys. Switch to pearl barley, 103 grams. Were you just off the dock, or did you like have a favorite spot? Like maybe down over there by that little creek? I'm just really curious. $74. Okay, I gotta write this down. We really aren't that far away from there. And it'd be another good excuse to buy a better and stronger telestick. All right, so 74, 114 by creek, 121, 115 finger, which is the key or whatever. Both Corey with caddisfly and Telly. That's so interesting. Yeah, exactly, Rise. I saw the cafe order and was trying to see if we could make some easy silver off of them. I wonder if we move the feeders down here. There's a rough, by the way. If we'd also ever see them on feeder down here. All right, let me take a quick bio break. I'll be right back. There we go. We got some nibbles. Hey! We're catching rough down here too. There's rough everywhere. Come on, bleak attack. Let's see a bleak attack. I just got to know what the size is. If I don't know the goal, I'm not very motivated. Six from 50. We're never getting there, right? I shouldn't say never, but they're going to have to really pick up before it gets too late. I'd say it's a long shot, but we're still making a little silver. We're making a little silver, and then probably the next step is to go to Old Berg and grind it out a little bit on bait harvesting, just so we have some more options. Since the grocery store is the cheapest there. I wonder if that little spot right outside the fort on Pearl Barley is still catching decent crucian gibbles. Because that's something... Ooh, look at these rough. That's something we could do while leveling up bait harvesting, right? Alright, let's move back down just a little bit. This should be good. It's not happening, is it? Alright, let's don't go as far out so that we can more easily watch it. Oh my goodness. Dang it. That was a bleak, 100%. Fun thing about Telly is your trophies can stay around. Yeah, for sure. Oops, I don't want to do that. I just want to do like 80% right here. What's up, Gelder? We're going to end up missing a bite again, aren't we? Oh my goodness. We can now fish with a picker rod. Just because you can do something doesn't always mean you should do something, though. Do I not use the float camera? Nah. I have it set up that the float camera only comes on if it's so far, you know, distance from me or whatever. I enjoy pickers quite a bit as well. On my main account, I'm I would be hesitant to be able to justify with as many things as we are wanting to save for right now on this leveling series, actually getting picker rods at the moment, you know? So we can hit the bleak here. We're just not hitting them quick enough to do this cafe order. Doesn't help that I've missed a couple too. Yeah, I have Boonison pickers on my main account. Anything that's a short enough clip and a small enough fish, I love using them. There we go. So that's twice in a row the bleak bite hasn't happened till kind of down here. Good bit past where our feeder rods are set up. Man, these rough are just almost an all-day thing at this point. You have 3 pickers for bream and small fish. I like it. Yeah, I mean, bream clips are typically... small enough for it. And if you've got decent pickers... I was really not expecting to trophy a bleak down here, but that's cool. Thank you, everybody. 114, 118 is a common minnow spot. I have seen people talking about like trophying common minnows at Quarry. I've never tried it though. That's pretty cool. Do they have cafe orders for those ever? I can't imagine that common minnows like add up to very much silver, right? Maybe fun. Maybe a lot of fun, but... Ooh, a white bream. So it looks like you could actually do pretty well in this spot. You could bleak it during the day and rough it all day and night, it looks like. So with very little gear, it's not the big, like, you know, if you're spin fishing at Belaya and it's decent, you get these grayling and brown trout that are just worth so much silver and XP that it's hard to compete with that. But, by the way, we haven't tried horsefly here. Just for fun, let's cast out horsefly one time. It's hard to compete with that, but, I mean, we're going to end up doing pretty well. And most of the silver this episode will be, this chapter will be from the rough on feeders and then the stuff we've caught on float. There's a nice one on horsefly. You still hold the USA record for common minnow? Oh, that's awesome. Common minnows are not worth much silver, but there are cafe orders once in a while. Okay, cool. And that's the trick to me, like when you're leveling and trying to earn silver early on. Just knowing some spots for those random fish that pop up on the cafe. That are relatively easy to accomplish. It gives you a little goal, it's a little fun, a little purpose. I think once it gets down there and we lose that drifting with the current, I don't like our chances as much. They also give bad XP. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of like, I mean, there's some fish like that at Tunguska. I mean, there's fish like that in most places, I guess, but there can be some nice spots to hit them or whatever, but they're not usually worth much silver or XP. But still fun to catch. It is a common minnow, I suppose, at the end of the day. Well, this is a big day for Braves baseball. I mean, it's hard to, you know, any one game or any one day in the course of a season as long as a baseball season, it's hard to put too much emphasis, but with as well as the Mets are playing, and since they are leading the division, the fact that we get to play them twice today in a doubleheader seems like a pretty big day. So if the thing was 50, we're only at 3. So we can pretty much put that cafe order to bed, I think. We'll do this a couple more casts just to see if we can catch anything, and then I think we'll move to Old Berg. When we go to Old Berg, though, that'll be the start of a new chapter once I get it over on YouTube. It's so funny that the, I mean, I guess we're not using pearl barley or even bloodworms as bait, so maybe that would change, but it's just weird to me that it's so unreliable to ever see bleak come in on the feeders. You do occasionally, I guess, but like if we had pearl barley on there with those small hooks, we'd probably see one, right? But then we'd be missing out on all the rough. We'll try one just for a minute since we're about to leave anyway. Yeah, that's the problem, right? We're getting a few of those Crucian Gibbles mixed in. Nighttime, yeah. Yeah. Is that because, I guess my question is, were you going for them during the day? Or you just tend to go, you know, happen to have similar baits at night when you're fishing for something else? Maybe they don't bite during the day on feeders very much. I think they're unreliable either way. I think they're pretty hit or miss or random on feeder. It's even more drastic than white bream. I mean, I would argue white bream are a little bit better on float if you know how to get them, but you can still do pretty well on white bream on feeders. All right. Yeah, fishing for rough with redworm. Yeah. Yep, I hear you. That makes sense. We have 88 fish in our net. I mean, a lot of them aren't markers, but still. It's pretty cool. Okay. Let's wrap this chapter up in a neat little bow. See how much silver we got. I think we did pretty well. Certainly over 100. I don't think we hit any cafe orders though, did we? There was such a strange mix of cafe orders. We might have eventually gotten there on white bream. You could do another day of bleak and get there. But no cafe orders. However, 162 silver. Very nice. Trophy bleak is the best we did. I like it. I like it.